This is gold. You know what else is gold? Is this right here, your next survival project. Right here, what we have is we have a flower farm. This is for dyes, I'd imagine, unless you're just wanting to plant like tons and tons of flowers everywhere and just have flowers taking over your entire world. But most likely you just want it for dyes, because what the heck is going on here? Most likely you just want this for dyes, because I know a particular someone named Amara who she just likes to make pretty things, and redstone is not her thing, and she doesn't want it to be. And you know what? That's okay. Redstone doesn't have to be everyone's thing. So this right here is a circuit that the whole goal, this whole farm really, the whole goal is that she can build it on her own, that if it ever breaks, she can figure out how to fix it without asking me. And I think there's a lot of other people who could use a farm just like that. So let's get down to how we actually build the thing. Alright, so keep in mind, you are probably going to need about a I'd say probably a 20 by 20 space just to be safe, to make sure that you're not going to be invading on any other projects that you're doing. So start in towards the middle of where you would like to be building. You're going to come a couple blocks up. These blocks really don't matter. We're just using them to get a dispenser pointing upward. This is really important. And it's just going to float there like it's magic. From there, you're going to go ahead and you're going to put a grass block on top of it. And from that grass block, you are going to come 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks forward. You're going to come 4 blocks to each side. But on this back bit, you're not going to come 4 blocks out. You will rather come 3 blocks out. Now this gives you the dimensions needed to make a rectangle. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to make that rectangle. Congratulations! You just made yourself a rectangle. Have someone given you a gold star today? Well, if they haven't, make sure they do, because you deserve one. Now we're going to go ahead and we're actually going to get into this bit. So what this is for, and I'm going to explain this for any of you who are watching, I am going to explain this from the point of view of someone who knows nothing about redstone, because I want you to understand actually what's going on here. So this right here is the dispenser. It is going to be throwing bone meal up there, and it's going to be able to turn this whole entire grass area into grass and flowers. Wheat and flowers, I guess. So from here, you're going to take, I'm going to use a pink block as a conducting block. There's a redstone signal going through it. And you're going to go ahead and take an observer. Whoops. You want an observer with its face coming out this way and its butt coming into this pink bit here. And that will power this. Now from there, we're going to come a couple more blocks out. And we're going to place another observer with its face facing that face. And then we're going to take a sticky piston and we're going to place it pointing into this, and make sure it is a sticky piston, otherwise this doesn't work. Keep that in mind. From there, I'm using green to remind us that this circuit is for running this dispenser. From there, we're going to place 1 block underneath this, which actually should be a pink block if I continue with my color coding. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to lay out a green circuit that we're going to almost come up to the front here, but not quite. We'll move one more back. The things that are important here is you have a lot of flexibility with this, but place a repeater going right here, and then redstone dust coming all the way over here. And then we're going to come back right about here into the middle with that redstone dust. Coming up just 1 short of the edge. We'll come 1 more forward. Coming up to the edge of this right here would be perfect. Now if we do a little test, we're going to see that these two are going to move together and it's going to make this click really fast. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and throw some bone meal in there to see what the effect of that is. Alright, I've thrown some bone meal in there. Let's grab us a redstone torch. And when I power this, we should see a whole bunch of stuff pop up right up here. Perfect. Now we've got flowers forming, and now we just need to make a way to collect those flowers. So coming to the back of this farm, so that was the front, this is the back, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a row of just generic building blocks on this back end. And then on the entire back end, you're taking dispensers and you're going to place them all, get out of my way, you're going to place them all facing towards the grass. Perfect, magic. Now we were using green before for the circuit to do with this. Now I'm going to be using blue just to keep things neat and tidy. It's a good habit to be in. With anything with redstone, it makes it a lot easier to fix if it breaks. And now repeaters into the back of every single one of these, and dust right behind that. Now at this point, it's a very good idea to go ahead and enclose this whole bit of grass. Actually, let me turn this into daytime. So we want to enclose this on the two sides here, however you like, with whatever blocks you like. Now from here, we're actually going to come one extra out and we're going to be leaving a gap and coming across like so. So now you may be wondering, what's the gap for? Well, we're going to come down over here like this. That block's not necessary. And we're going to fill in this entire spot, except for this one block right here. And we're going to enclose it so that we could capture water in this. From this point, you should have something that looks kind of like this. We're going to actually be taking a water bucket. Get rid of those for a moment. And you're just going to dump it on this very last opening, and it shouldn't fall out. It should be exactly 8 blocks, and so it just comes to the edge. And so that any items that are collected here will get pushed into this water and will fall down. Perfect so far. Pretty simple, and I hope you're following. So coming back down underneath the whole farm, we're going to make a new bit of circuitry now. We're going to come right up towards the edge of the farm, and we're going to wrap around this way. Now, just a couple blocks before we hit where all these dispensers are, we're actually going to create a branch that comes off of that and goes about to the second to last blue block here. Once you've mapped this out the way we were just talking about, you're going to want to add something that looks just like this. It's going to be 2 diagonal pieces, 2 diagonal blocks with 1 torch here and 1 torch right up there. So if we add that right here, let's make the formation of it first. So just like that. And then we're going to go ahead, we're going to add 1 torch here. And we're going to add another torch right there. And you should hear everything click right there. That means it's working. From this point, we're going to be throwing a repeater right here with some redstone dust coming this way. And this redstone dust is going to come right to here, and then there's going to be a repeater going into this block. And we're actually going to set this, well, I have to mess with the timing, we'll see. Anyways, we're going to set 3 more repeaters right here, some redstone dust, and then 1 more repeater right here. So just to review that, we're going to have 1 repeater walking over to this. There should be a repeater going into this block right here, and then 2 more repeaters. Make sure that little arrow is pointed the way that you're walking, going over here. So now we got to fill all of these, each with their own individual water bucket. So a good way to test this is let's grab a like a wooden button. We're going to throw it down right here just as a test, and we're going to click it once and see what happens. What should happen is that this will all get washed away, and it'll all be brought down and dropped down right here. So let's take a look and see how that works. Alright, looks like we have a problem. All this means is that we need a little bit more delay between these 2 clicks. So let's throw in a little bit more delay and see how well it works. Alright, we've done our repairs, we've added some delay, now let's give it a try. So it looks like we might need even more delay than that. There we go. Okay, after messing with the timing a couple times, it's something I don't have memorized. We'd have to look in that one too. Now, you should see what you should be getting. When you click this button, every single time, we got plants growing, the water comes out, then the water quits. All being brought and funneled down here. So, one of the most important aspects of this farm is the fact that this finished version that I have here has been running this whole time without me doing anything, and it's all dependent on that minecart right there. And in the time just working on that, we've obviously been accruing some stuff. And that's the next part of this farm that we are going to add. So what we are doing from this point is we are going to take, I'm using orange, you can use any building block, and we're going to take and make a ring that goes all the way around the circuitry. Make sure that you don't touch the line that your rail is going to be on to any of these blocks that have redstone on them, because that will just not be good for us. As you come around to finish this lap that we made, you want to make sure that we have 2 blocks here that are 1 block higher than the rest, and the distance, so we have this redstone dust here. This should be an empty block, then 1 more block, and then the next block up. So make sure that you are keeping in line with that, otherwise this whole little auto system isn't necessarily going to work very well. You're going to need several kinds of rails. You're going to need 1 detector rail that's going to go right here, and then from that point you need 1 power rail that's going to go right here. Here we can place a couple of normal rails coming around this corner, and then we're going to place a group of powered rails going up to the other corner. Alright, so we've got powered rails going a lot of the way around. And now, if you place these 1 block away from this torch, this whole back line should be powered. Now we just have to worry about powering the rest of this, which I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to take the middle block on each side and I'm going to replace it with a redstone block. And that should power all these powered rails on this side. Alright, so you may be wondering, you may have gotten a little bit lost with what I was saying about the rails, so just clarifying, we have a detector rail next to a powered rail that's going uphill that is not getting powered, and then we have powered rails that are receiving a redstone signal in one way or another. I just placed redstone blocks underneath one of them, coming all the way around, and then these again are normal rails. So what you're going to do from this point is we are going to take a lever and we're going to place it underneath this rail right here. This is what's going to stop and go your system. And from that point we can honestly, all we have to do is grab a minecart of any kind, place it on the powered rails, because a deactivated power rail will hold a minecart in place. And then let's just go ahead and flick the switch. And there you go, look at that. You've now got a system currently running that you can AFK with, that's going to collect you many flowers. And the redstone is very, very, very simple. It's not very compact, but if something is going wrong, most likely, no matter what redstone level you are, you can probably fix it. Now, obviously, this system here and this one here look different. They have the exact same thing going on, but they do look different. So I'll show you one or two things that are non-essential that I added to try and make my life a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and turn this off. It's gonna run around one more time and come to rest right here. Or not. Okay, actually, you need to break one of these and replace it with a normal rail. Okay, so I had to mess around with this a little bit. I didn't set it up the exact same way over here. As you set this up, it depends on the size of the circle that you make. You're gonna have to do a couple things just to make sure that it doesn't have too much momentum coming into this. So if you just go ahead and click go now, it's going to run through this. And it works fine. When I turn this off, it actually stops. All I had to do is I just had to add a little bit more, add the hill a little bit earlier, and I took out some of the powered rails here at the end. So if you have trouble with this turning off, it just means it's going too fast. Do a couple things to help it slow down. You know, it's going to really depend on your exact situation and the exact size of your track. But just remove some powered rails, replace them with normal rails, add a little hill, something like that. So, back to adding a few things that I really like that are non-essential that I have over here just to make my life a little bit easier. The first one is putting a hopper into this, placing a hopper into that. Make sure you're clicking at it, holding shift down. You can just keep going. Just keep going, just keep going. Da-da-da-da. And that's a trap chest. Then I'm gonna take a normal chest, and I'm going to place it right here. Now you can build whatever kind of ramp up to this or stairway. Right over here I have a staircase going in, but what that's going to allow me to do is if I want to grab some bone meal, instead of diving down into the circuitry, I just run up here, throw my bone meal in, and it's going to feed all of that bone meal through those hoppers into the dispenser there. The other thing that I've added that I highly recommend is a chest to collect all of your flower goodies. So if you just place a hopper going into this, you can use whatever hopper configuration you like to get into the chest to get around all of your stuff. But if you do this now, those are two additions that I make that, in my opinion, make life a lot easier. So let's give an example of those really quick. So we throw those in there, and now our dispenser is getting filled up with more bone meal. And now if we get our whole system started, all of these flowers and wheat seeds will now go into this chest here. So a couple last words about flower farms. Flower farms, what kind of flowers you're getting out of your farm are going to be dependent 100% on where they're located. Not only in the biome, in what biome, but where they're located within the biome itself. Amara has two of these flower farms that are right next to each other because for some reason, one of them gets a lot of red and blue flowers, red and yellow flowers, the other one gets a lot of pink and purple flowers, even though they're in the same biome. So you can run around a little bit with bone meal, throw it on the ground, see if there's flowers there you like, and then build it there. If you decide that you would like to go ahead and build this farm yourself, obviously yours will look a lot different than mine. This is what I thought looked really pretty and really cool. And if you build it, please, send me the picture. And if you do, good things may come to you. You may never know. But I'd love to see how this goes. And please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Happy farming. Bye.